Okay, hello, ladies. That was weird. Let's do that again. I want to discuss activism in fashion because there were some very prominent activism fashion events that happened recently. So last month we saw AOC at the Met Gala wearing a white dress that said "tax the rich" on it. And we also saw a protest at the Louis Vuitton. I gotta not say it, it's so pretentiously. There was also a protester at the Louis Vuitton show in Paris holding up a big sign that said "consumption equals extinction." So I wanna discuss protest in fashion because most of the stuff that I see online are people kind of critiquing the protest and not really talking about the message of the protest. So first off, Alexandria Castillo Cortez at the Met Gala. So at this point, you've probably already heard that her dress was made from a sustainable fashion designer. Clearly, the woman is aware of environmental issues and she wasn't doing it in a performative way. Having a simple message on a garment is not enough. The garment, the way that it's made, the materials that it comes from also need to back up what that statement on the garment is claiming. So when a garment is claiming "tax the rich," it's important to also go above and beyond to make sure that this garment itself isn't supporting the rich. Looking at her dress now, it kind of looks like a wedding dress or a prom dress, and I'm not a fan of the font either, and I also feel like it could fit her a little bit better. But you know, that's just my personal aesthetic opinion. She's gorgeous. I mean, she looks beautiful in anything. I know you're thinking now, Kristen, that is a beautiful phone case. Is it sustainable? Yes. Yes, it is. And it's from today's sponsor, Pila. I'm so sorry for this transition. This was the worst.
Pila are the creators of the world's first biodegradable phone cases, which means that they'll break down in a backyard or industrial compost, but not in your pocket. Pila cases are also super soft and drop-proof with military-grade protection for up to 6 feet, which is almost 2 meters. They are B Corp certified, which is a pretty big deal because only businesses that meet the highest social and environmental standards receive the certification. They're also climate neutral certified and a member of the 1% for the planet, where they contribute at least 1% of sales each year to an environmental cause. I have the lavender hemp model, but there are so many other colors and designs to choose from, like this one, and this one over here, and you can also accessorize with a Pila grip to make holding your phone easier and safer. I've had my Pila case for about half a year now, and it saved my phone from so many drops. It also feels super soft when you hold it, which you wouldn't think that that's very important, but when you're on your phone all day, it matters a lot more than you think. So the first 50 subscribers to visit the link in my description and use the code KristenLeo will get 50% off their order. Huge thank you to Pila for sponsoring today's video.
When it comes to the message of the dress, I obviously 1000% agree with it. Especially now with the Pandora documents that have leaked, we have more than enough proof to kind of know that the rich really aren't paying as much as they should be paying. And this is something that most of us have already known, but there's so much proof at this point. I want to go a little more deeper into the criticism though that AOC received for wearing that dress at the Met Gala. I'm not gonna pronounce it any other way, I'm sorry. A lot of the judgment that I see about AOC in general, it's pretty nitpicky. And I think the reason, I feel like it's pretty obvious, the reason is that she's a pretty left-leaning POC woman in politics. So obviously, I think people are gonna be a lot more nitpicky with a person like that than they're gonna be with any other type of politician, in my opinion. I feel like the reasons behind the nitpickiness are definitely racism and misogyny. I think politicians should always be scrutinized, AOC included. But when you take AOC and you compare her to pretty much every other American politician, to me at least, it seems like she has her head screwed on her shoulders a little better, a little tighter than the rest of them. She also doesn't come from a wealthy background, which to me is really important, that she doesn't come from a family of politicians because those are the most corrupt. The fact that she is a POC woman is also very important because it means that her experiences in life have been a lot different from the majority of the male politicians out there. It means that she has more of a compassion to empathize with women and with people of color. Being a POC woman does not automatically mean that you are going to be compassionate towards people like yourself, but are the chances higher? I think so. And especially for the US, where people are extremely diverse, you also need people in power that understand that diversity and don't pass laws and regulations that harm marginalized groups of people and oppressed groups of people. The other thing that I hear is that she's really annoying. It just kind of baffles me how people don't understand the concept that politicians are not, don't need to be likable. Like, it's not a popularity contest. That's what it's ended up being. But that's not what politics should be. Politics are voting for the person that's the most capable of serving the majority of the people of a country. They're not meant to be your friend. They're not meant to entertain you. Their job is to serve you. I think especially when it comes to the discussion of politics in the US, for us and the rest of the world, we are desperately waiting for the US to start taking action against climate change, which is something that the US has contributed to the most through their military-industrial complex, through their insane amount of energy consumption and food consumption. Rich people in general contribute to climate change. And from the moment that the US has most of the rich people in the world, it makes sense that the US is also through that way contributing. And I don't care that her Green New Deal does not go far enough. This is literally the only thing that the US has presented as a solution currently. And anything is better than the zero that the US has been doing and has literally been contributing to the destruction of every other country on the planet. It's just such a more important conversation than whether or not AOC was pretentious with the fact that she went to the Met Gala. The world is fucking burning. And there's a bunch of rich people going to the Met Gala with literally nothing to say. And we're picking apart the one person that actually does have like something. Do I personally think that she achieved something positive with wearing that dress at the Met Gala? I don't think so. But I don't know if it's her that failed to deliver the message or the public receiving it, not using that message as an excuse to have more important conversations. But what I do know is, in general, in the realm of fashion and activism, which is something that I did, here comes the PTSD again. 2 years ago, I took part in a reality show styling competition called My Style Rocks. I wanted to use that reality show as a platform to talk to people about the environmental impact of fast fashion, to talk about the working conditions of people working in garment factories, to show how affordable it is to dress in an ethical and sustainable way. I went on that reality show because I know that I can reach a certain amount of people on the internet, but going on TV, you reach a completely different audience that I would never be able to reach through this fucking channel. Oh my God, I'm getting like heart palpitations and like I'm shaking just having to talk about that experience because it was so traumatic. And one of the things that contributed to making it such an excruciatingly horrible experience was the fact that I went there with the purest of intentions. That was something that I knew would harm my channel because I wouldn't be able to post videos. It would harm me financially because the money that the show gives you is less than the money that I make from my channel. Also, like, I knew I would have to put a ton of time into that. The way that people reacted is the worst part of it. People started projecting the reasons that they would do what I did on top of me. So they would do it for the money. They would do it for the attention. They would do it to get followers, which I already had, and I was also accused of that. And especially being called a hypocrite because I wore secondhand fast fashion or secondhand leather was the most interesting part, because all of these people had no issue walking into fast fashion stores and buying new clothes from fast fashion stores or buying new leather shoes. And it was harder for them to take a look at themselves and question their actions. And instead, it was a lot more convenient to project their insecurities on me and kind of question my morals and my integrity as a person. And I should have seen that coming, really, but I don't know. People surprise me in the worst way possible every day. So I don't know. It just seems to me like whenever fashion is used as a medium to like say something important, the way that people react is very similar across the world. People were talking about how it was hypocritical of her to attend a ball that is mainly just for rich people to sit around and like schmooze, is that the word, with each other, to like mingle with the rich people. And a lot of people were accusing her of like being very pretentious with the fact that she was using that as an excuse to go and hang out with famous people at the Met Gala. But I think the issue is when you try to infiltrate something that is meant to be extremely superficial, vapid, and narcissistic, people are not really capable of like separating those two things and like recognizing that you're just infiltrating that. You're an imposter there trying to kind of blow it up. And instead, they're just going to project and assume that you're there for the same narcissistic, vapid, and superficial reasons. Understanding that type of activism and protest requires a level of complicated thought that most people don't have. So yeah, basically what I'm doing now is I'm calling everyone stupid. But yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think most people are really stupid and they're not going to be able to separate the fact that, you know, infiltrating a bougie gala doesn't mean that you are identifying with the people that are participating in that gala. And there was also the Paris Fashion Week Louis Vuitton protest, which is a much more traditional form of protesting within fashion. But again, I did see a lot of scrutiny when it came to that as well. One thing that was interesting was people commenting about how the protester was putting the models in danger, which the models were safe. If anything, I think the models were a danger to the protester with like the stiletto heels. Those are more dangerous. Do I think that just walking up into any fashion show and holding a sign and protesting achieves something? No. But I think that people in the media can take that as a prompt to discuss things that are important. And we can take that sign that is only 2 words, which is consumption equals extinction, or was it overconsumption equals extinction? I forgot. It was 2 words and I couldn't keep one of them in my head, and I'm saying other people are stupid. Damn. Overconsumption equals extinction. Wow. Interstellar Isabella made a TikTok discussing the groups behind the sign of overconsumption equals extinction, and she talks about one of them, which is Extinction Rebellion, and a few of the very problematic things that they have done and participated in.
They are known for speaking out about climate change through disruption and spectacle. And while I am such a sucker for procession and costumes, they have some major issues. And mainly it's a diversity issue. A very predominantly white group, they've been called out for their lack of diversity again and again. This is a huge problem because, as this article says, although communities of color are the most impacted by the climate crisis, their communities are often slighted or outright erased from the climate narrative. Some say that XR is only able to do these actions because they are protected from brutality by the color of their skin. But they've also been called out for public displays of affection for the police and dog whistling, particularly when they ask the police to go and fight knife crime rather than going after peaceful white protesters. This is on top of one of their founders downplaying the Holocaust as well as the genocide in the Congo, basically saying that these things are overplayed. Governments have gone on to call them a terrorist organization, and while that might not actually affect them that much, it could affect climate protesters in general, especially because while they continue to make headlines, Indigenous activists are fighting to get in the newspaper at all, even though Indigenous-led activism has done way more than XR has ever done. New report saying that Indigenous resistance has stopped or delayed greenhouse gas equivalent to 1/4 of annual US and Canadian emissions. Here's the report for you to go check out. There's also a long history of this type of protest on runways, and it's highly debatable how effective it is. I do want to throw out there for a moment, the show itself was actually stunning, and while it was beautiful, Louis Vuitton definitely needs to be protested against, because they are incredibly horrible for the environment. They regularly burn their unsold bags, and are also not transparent about their labor conditions. And they are quite racist themselves. Lick a Lollipop, of course, made a jaw-dropping video about their heinous practices, from cultural appropriation to blackface, and horrific comments that their employees have made.
My 2 cents on that is that any group, whether it's an activism group, whether it's a corporation, whether it's like a D&D group, you know, any group that is consisted of only white people is gonna be problematic. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble on that one, but especially if the head of that group is an old white guy, you know, a middle-aged old white man. So let's talk about overconsumption equals extinction. I feel like I've made so many videos at this point about fast fashion and about consumerism. Like every 2 weeks, that's what I'm talking about. And I feel like you're probably sick of hearing me talking about it. If you're new to this channel, I would highly suggest you watch my video, Fast Fashion Explained in 5 minutes. I feel like that is the fastest way to learn as much as you can possibly learn about why fast fashion is so terrible, about why we should be boycotting it if we have the ability to do that. And that's about it. I don't really feel like talking about it for the millionth time at this point. Also, I really cannot comprehend, this is the part where I start screaming, but I really cannot comprehend when I go on TikTok and people are still promoting fast fashion brands for free. I mean, being paid to do it is horrible in other ways. But like so many Shein hauls and Boohoo hauls and like AliExpress hauls. It's so disappointing seeing Gen Zers promoting fast fashion, because it's like, I would expect that the younger generations would be more up to date with things like this. Gen Zers are supposed to be this newer, younger, hipper, more aware generation, and they're doing Shein hauls for free. And there's these f***ing bitches. I'm gonna be a little bit nicer, but there's these f***ing that are on TikTok doing $500 Shein hauls and saying that they don't have enough money to like buy ethical fashion. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about AOC's dress, about the protester at the Louis Vuitton show, in the comments below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more videos like this and nothing like this. Hit the notification bell as well. Not that it's gonna work, because YouTube does not want you to watch my videos. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Can we just appreciate this top for a moment? How much did I get it? Was it €2? Secondhand, thrifted, vintage? Was it €3? I can't remember. These are the pants. Very shiny, very nice, very schmexy. Not really, but the total cost of this outfit is, let me think, €6. Thrifted fashion, baby, thrifted fashion.